It is from Intuitive717, and I just thought I would come on and share a video with you guys on some of the energies that I'm feeling. So if you caught my last video, it was mainly from the Divine Masculine's energy and a lot of heavy anxiety. And I received some channeling just now, and I feel like a lot of the anxiety is about reaching out to the Divine Feminine, and I feel like it's coming. So if the Divine Feminines are feeling the anxiety, and when I say anxiety, it's that feeling that you get in your stomach that makes you feel a little bit uneasy. So sometimes you might feel sensations of like, wanting to puke, or, right before you go on like a really giant roller coaster, you kind of get that nervous feeling in your stomach. And so if any of you feminines are resonating with that intense type of emotion, but overall you're in a good mood, then you can take that as a sign that it's your counterpart's energy, because if it is the real motions of experiencing that, then our entire body, mind, and spirit will feel it, where, our function, our mood, and all of these things will be affected. But in my experience, I feel like I'm in an overall positive, great, loving vibration, but I can certainly feel the energy, within my soul, within my body. And so I really wanted to continue channeling for the Divine Masculine, because I just want to be a positive channel for them and share what they're experiencing, because if there are feminines in the collective who are picking up on the negative aspects of the journey, or maybe focusing heavily on what their masculines are doing, then we constantly have to remind ourselves that both of us are on the twin flame journey. So both of us are experiencing lessons in our own ways, and if we can be in a space of accepting and receiving the journey as it comes, then we move past the blocks a lot faster. So understand that if there is separation or space, no matter what the circumstances are, that you can work it out through telepathy with each other. You can work it out with being open and honest about how you really feel about your connection, and if anything negative comes up, address it and just move past it and see what space you come back to regarding your Divine Masculine, because he is doing the same for you feminines. He's going through, I feel like, he's going through a lot of just like emotions about whether or not this is the right decision for him. I feel like when they think about the journey of the feminine, that it kind of scares them. And I mentioned it in my last video too, is that they're afraid to lose the connection between them and the feminine. When I say lose the connection between them and the feminine, I get against the grain and what is already with you. So I told you guys this keeps coming up for me. They intuitively understand that the connection with the feminine, like all twin flames, is an unusual situation. A lot of us have to be in these situations so that we can demonstrate to the world that love's more important. So even though the connection for him is going against the grain, feminines, as much as you think he can't move past this block, he can, just like you have been able to. And I've said this before, feminines have had to be honest, and don't think that the Divine Masculines aren't going to have to go through this part of the journey too. He's not going to compromise this connection because he does want it as bad as you do, feminine. And he is having to do this right now. He's just having to express himself and be vulnerable and speak his truth and be naked in front of everyone. And even though I feel like the birds are up here, sorry, that was my oven going off. So even though the birds are up there, I feel like it's like, you know, this is society. And instead of flying with everyone, you know, he's choosing to just take his own path and just go underground and swim naked. You know, I also have a message here. You know, I have little writings on the card because I actually attach my own meanings to it sometimes. And I don't know if any of you have ever seen the movie Ever After with Drew Barrymore. But there's a part in it where she says, "A fish may love a bird, senor, but how would they live?" And Da Vinci tells her, "Well, then we'll just have to make you wings." And so I think right now the divine masculine's learning that he has to decide what he wants to do on the journey. And his heart will lead him because the freedom that he wants to experience, the feminine actually inspires that. He doesn't want to lose this connection because it feels too good, and that's his biggest fear, is that it's too good to be true, you know. Well, that other meaning with the ever after is that, you know, maybe the feminine is out there and he might feel like it's out of his reach, but he'll have to learn to grow some wings. And what is already with you? So, like I said, I'm continuing to get this card over and over again, and it reminds me of when I was first on the twin flame journey trying to piece this all together. When I would experience moments of doubt, I would go back to what was already with me, which was the dreams and the memories and the synchronicities and experiences that I was having that I couldn't really share with anyone because I knew no one would understand, sure, I mean, definitely, but I also knew that I had to go this on my own. I had to understand what was happening to me on my own and accept it as my own truth, because trying to speak my truth to other people and get their validation on the twin flame journey was still giving my power away. And so that's why I constantly tell twin flames, you know, you have to willingly walk this path. You know, there's no complaining about it. There's no constantly feeding yourself, why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to me? You know, if you're in that space, then I feel like it's a message now from me to you to move out of that space and start accepting what's going on, because I promise that's how you end up moving forward and gaining peace. You know, you step out of that space of what's happening to me, is this right, is this wrong? Make your choice. And if the twin flame journey makes you happy to believe that something like this could happen to you, you go for it. You know, whoever needs to hear it, go for it. I'm going for my twin flame journey. This has been a hell of an experience, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. You know, the ups and downs. It makes me grow so much. And the fact that I'm able to come on here and, you know, help use these tools to send messages to the collective, or people just like me who might be going through the same thing, who felt really alone at one point and didn't really have anybody to talk to. You know, this is why I want to do this, is to let you guys know that you're not crazy, and you can always come here for support. Come to life. You know, be weird, be crazy. Don't feel like you need to explain yourself to anybody. You intuitively tune in to the journey and think about what it is you feel. What's your truth about yourself and your twin, and what's been happening in your connection? How have you grown? How have you felt? What experiences have you had? And just embrace those experiences. I feel like for twin flames, they have always felt different. And it's almost like this experience of the twin flame journey was just waiting for them to happen. And when you really think back, I'm sure a lot of you, when you think back to being a kid, you were just really different and off, and you found that you always had a lot of wisdom, even from a young age, and just this innate understanding of things. And I feel like when I get this card, it just means to bring your goals and dreams to life, no matter how weird or strange it might seem. She's painting on herself because it's her life. So divine masculines, divine feminines, it's your life. You can do whatever you want with this journey. I feel like stepping out in truth is what a lot of masculines are having to do right now. I strongly, strongly feel that. So even if they're having to break down connections or friendships, or just rid themselves of certain people in their lives who might be standing in the way of them feeling free to express themselves in this connection, they're not putting up with it. Now they're ready to do their own thing. And I feel like a lot of the females in the card really represent the masculines coming into their feminine energy. Even with the first card I got too, I felt like it represented the masculine, but it appears to be a naked woman. And I feel like here too, they really are stepping into their feminine energies, and they don't care because their divine feminines are making them do this, and they really like it. You know, here you can see the butterflies too. So it's like they really have been on a journey where they're not in that cocoon or hermit phase anymore. And that's why my last video talked about the anxiety about reaching out, because they're headed in that direction as far as opening up the lines of communication with their feminine again. And I feel like they're excited to show her that they're different this time. You know, they've had a lot of support, I feel, from the universe in regards to understanding what this all means. And now they're just ready to let loose and just let it all hang out. Ready to create something new for themselves. I'm excited for what's coming. Even though it might be moving slow and taking its time, whoever this is meant for, if you're feeling impatient, I feel like, you know, the cards are coming around to tell you that always remember that impatience is part of the journey, and it's something that we need to come to terms with, by letting things go with the flow and happen in divine timing. This card that I have here, it says every journey starts with a single step. And I love it. I feel like that's where my masculines are at. You know, wherever they were or have been, they're just ready to leave it. They're ready to pack up all of their stuff and trust that there's magic surrounding them and protecting them at all times. I know you guys can't probably see it, but I'll just go through a lot of the markings that I have on the card here. It says, you know, leaving the old behind, moving forward with your soul desires, union, well, I feel like there's a lot of gifts too that are opening up for the masculines when they explore this connection and they think about how they truly feel about the divine feminine and the same thing that we do, like even with the ups and downs for them, for the divine masculines, they still can't stop thinking about the feminines, and it's making them kind of look off like that. Like, even though I'm taking this huge risk by leaving behind everything I've ever known, I am excited. I heard them say, "I'm so excited you have no idea," which is super cute. I'm so excited you have no idea. So feminines, now is a good time to just enjoy being in a space of having your masculine come forward. So no impatience, no doubts, no insecurities. Now is the time to really work on a lot of that and heal it. And how you heal it and work on a lot of that stuff is by using affirmations and really talking to yourself throughout this process. Saying things like, I choose to be on this journey regardless of the ups and downs because I understand and trust my body when it tells me that I'm safe in this connection. And that's how you know it's a twin flame journey. You talk to yourself because only you will know how you resonate with this other energy that's coming into your life and constantly pulling towards you. You know, you guys will know. You'll know if you're in that state of just bliss and love. And I feel like you feminines also took a single step, you know, when it came time to deciding whether or not you wanted to pursue this journey. You know, a lot of us have made our decisions, but are still teeter-tottering with the doubts every time that we are in separation, or every time the masculines are asking for the space to process the emotions. We go back into that state of doubt. But I hear, and I'm channeling the masculines, when I'm hearing them literally say, you know, we're experiencing this connection differently than you feminines are. And so for us feminines, I feel like we have been, you know, more nurtured in the sense where we do have that nurturing energy as women, but some of our masculines are really fighting through the fact that they have not always been given warmth and affection by a female figure in their lives. And so they see this in the divine feminine, and so it's so healing for them. And I think it continuously surprises the masculine that he's never gone to this place before to heal. He's never had anyone in his life ever trigger healing within him where he literally goes off to a space to, and maybe he's not calling it meditating, but he goes off to a space and does exactly that. He just spends quiet time with himself and his thoughts because he has no other choice. It's tiring trying to push this away. I'll put it that way. I can see him surrendering. Like, I see them sitting down with, you know, their hands over their heads. A lot of them just kind of like rubbing their hands through their hair and kind of like pulling on the front of their hair a little bit. You know, really trying to push this away, and it's making them feel physically uncomfortable in their own bodies. And so that feeling of feeling uncomfortable in your body, and we're so connected with our body, guys. So in my last video, when I kept talking about the feelings of anxiety and, you know, all of these things that the masculine are feeling, that feeling is going to push them to this, to, you know, literally down on like hands and knees and elbows, surrendering to the process. Because they can't go on denying it because the thoughts of the feminine keep flooding them, and the synchronicities they're seeing her everywhere, and so it's making them think of her, which is why they're wanting to reach out, because they can't resist the urge to want to be close to her, physically connected. And I don't know if a lot of you are even receiving like calls from strange numbers and they're hanging up, or when you call back the number, it's like no longer in service or it's shut off because they're just like wanting to hear your voice or your voicemail, or I don't know why I got that message or who that was for, but it's not that your masculine's being creepy. He just really wants to connect with you, I think, and that's the universe's way of saying you need to rely on your telepathy and see what that's about and tune into that, because that really and truly is your feminine connecting with you. Okay, and then the other stuff I have written at the top of this card for what resonates with me is it says faith here. And so I feel like the universe is asking him to have faith in the process, because only you will know the truth. So you have to get down to this surrender, because God will be there to guide, assist, and help us, but we have to get to that point where we're actually wanting to be in a space of receiving guidance and help from our higher self and our angels and source. And so he's doing that. He's doing that after like a really long time of wrestling around with the idea of what the heck all of this has been. And now he's like, okay, God, please help me understand it. Now he's asking God to help him understand it, because he loves the feminine. He's so passionate about her, and he's never experienced it. The same exact feelings the feminine have about the masculines, it's it's mirrored. And then he's got that little bird on his back. So if any of you are seeing lots of birds around, just kind of flying by you, or sometimes you might just walk somewhere and sit down and all of a sudden a bird lands and flies away, or you're just seeing them everywhere, seeing different colored ones, seeing synchronicities or messages or pictures of unique looking birds. I feel like that's a reminder that your masculines are being guided. Little birdie on my shoulder, little messages that he's being given, that are being answered through the prayers. Because when he's asking, like, please help me understand this, his guides and angels and source and God is coming to assist him, because he's divinely protected. He's our masculine. And so I think it's beautiful that he's in this space, because, yeah, it's like the feminine really made him go there. And I think it's so sweet. And yeah, that's what I have for you guys in the cards. The last one I'm going to end with here is listening for truth, and I think that ties in perfectly here with the surrender, because after asking for the help, the universe is really asking him now to listen for the truth, and really listen for his truth, and that goes for anybody listening. The twin flame journey is something that you really have to make the call. Only you will know your truth, and then once you do decide, don't let anybody get in the way of you being authentic to who it is you are and wanting true love for yourself. If that's the kind of life situation that you're in, then you should fight for it. I mean, there's lots to discover here once we listen for the truth and listen to our own wisdom, our own higher self, what it is we're being guided and told. And your higher self and your angels and guides, it always sounds like your own voice, but a different personality of you. So pay attention to that. Like, sometimes if you feel like you're going off in conversation with yourself or kind of talking at yourself about something, try to kind of pay attention to the personality that's coming with that message. And a lot of the times that's how you can distinguish between your guides and when you're being sent divine messages. Some of the messages I have written for myself was, the doubt card, as far as him going through the process of surrendering all of those things, especially the doubt, just because it is physically exhausting. Anyone who is on the twin flame journey will tell you that. So he's surrendering all of that and trying to listen for the truth of all of this. I feel like he's using nature, so going out more, even if it's just masculines who maybe like going to the gym, they're going for runs outdoors instead, and just using all of that up. He's so vulnerable being naked, and again, a female representing the masculine for me in this reading, because he is balancing and coming into his feminine energy, and that's why he's wanting to reach out to the feminine, because there's a part of him that's softening, like that ego and that pride is softening, where you're just wanting to reach out for the sake of love, and you're not wanting to hold back because of, well, I'm not going to be the one to message kind of thing. It's like he's leaving all of that behind. So, yay for our divine masculines. They're doing an amazing, amazing job and really fighting through a lot of this, like we were when a lot of this stuff and purging had come up for the feminines in the beginning. Yeah, it just feels like they're going through it now, and they need our support more than anything else. So if you are feeling anxiety or negativity, feminines, just try your best to, politely send it back to them and say you're strong enough to deal with these blocks. And just send them love and guidance too, and ask the universe that they help your masculines to release anything that may be holding them back from actually connecting, because I feel like a lot of healing too that they need in order to gain some confidence to fight off a lot of the negative energy that's going on. They need the feminine's love and support at this time. So if you're separated from your masculine and you are not speaking in the physical, then try writing them a letter or just sending them some good positive thoughts as a way of helping them through whatever it is they're going through. I said through twice there. Guys, I just wanted to, I don't know why, but I saw the number 17 on this card, and I know that the 17th is coming up of this month, and so I don't know who that's meant for, but it could be something very significant on the 17th. And I didn't feel like pointing out any of the other numbers on the cards. Like throughout the entire reading, I didn't really point it out or pay attention to it or anything. But as I'm like trying to wrap up the reading here, my mind just keeps kind of wanting to just point it out here. Think of the memories, the dreams, the conversations. Think of your childhood, and it says here dream card. Yeah, just another reminder. Just constantly think of what's already with you, feminine, in order to get to a space where you can send the masculine positive energy throughout this time. Think of the good dreams you have had, or good memories you've had. How did you guys meet your divine masculines anyway? Think of that. I mean, I'm not asking you to put your stories in the comments or anything, just because I believe our unions are so special and protected. But even if it's just you thinking about it tonight, or if you happen to hear this reading, how did you meet your counterpart? All right, well, I hope that there were some divine messages in here for some of you listening. And I want to end this reading by saying thank you so much for all of my new subscribers, all of the views and the likes, and just the interaction with everybody. It's been so awesome. And, if it wasn't for you guys out there viewing my stuff and supporting me and giving me the likes, I don't know if I would, be out here feeling motivated, but just knowing that it is helping in some way, really wants me, or it makes me want to keep going and trying to get as much guidance for you guys as I can. Okay, well, I'm sending you love, peace and blessings, and I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Take care, and I'll speak to you guys soon.